So this is, let's see here, a bid that I submitted. This is my written instructions, and I provided with it certified funds. And I actually won this property in Buena Park, California. My opening bid, because this sold for $49,000 at the time of trustee sale, property in Buena Park, California, I'm already interested. So my opening bid was $50,000, and my instructions to the foreclosure trustee were, in the event of competitive bidding, to increase my bid by increments of $1,000. My high bid was $102,000. So in the event it went for less than that, I would again be saving that money.
Wow.
Oddly enough, on this one, the next highest bid actually was $101,000. So I did get it for 102. I was very excited about it. But this property that I purchased, it is in a very desirable area, unlike the property I just showed you. This is right across the street from a college. Very nice little cute area. It's actually just a condo, nothing exciting there. But again, my investment is $102,000. And that's all I had to put down. Now there is a first mortgage on this property in the original amount of $250,000. So realistically, I have liabilities up to about $350,000, but the property is worth over $550,000.
You're not sharing your screen. Can you just change your screen?
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, good.
Okay, I just went through a lot then. This is the property I'm referencing. It's right across the street from a little college right there. Rentable all day, every day. And I do mean it is right across the street from it. Everything's good about it. Low crime, nice, cute little neighborhood. Everything around it's good. And this property, again, this was actually an HOA lien. And as a result, it went to sale. There's some nuances to HOAs, but regardless, there's a first mortgage in the original amount of $250,000. I bought the HOA for $102,000. There's no second mortgage or anything else. And the property is worth over $550,000. And as a nonprofit, there's no deed restrictions, there's no sales restrictions, there's no time restrictions, and no occupancy restrictions. So I can evict the tenants that are in there and then again immediately sell the property for any price that I may choose, or I may rent it long term. And as this is not a first mortgage, I would be subject to that senior lien, of which I can bring it current, keep it current and keep paying it, or I could refinance it out, which I'd probably do. I have unlimited options.
Wow.
And you can see this is, again, there's ones that are very low balance, that are low. There's other ones that sold, and this is only the last 15 days. And notice how there's 399 available. But I can also tag these as certain ones that I may like. And I can look in here and see that these are all different properties and save them so I can track them. In the newest release, we're going to have bid tracking so that we will have reminders sent to somebody when they might want to send out their notice of intent, when those are due, when their bid might be due, and a few other features that I won't mention before it happens because, well, there's a lot when you add stuff to websites. So like this one went to sale, this one doesn't show up because it's past the 15 days. I believe it is at least. But I mean, this just went to sale for $12,000.
Wow.
The property's worth, over 174. It doesn't mean it's a first mortgage. I'm certainly going to check on that, but this is something that's available and that's extremely low cost. So if in the event it's not a first, which it probably isn't, but it doesn't mean that. I've seen ones that went to sale for incredibly low prices and they are and were first mortgages.
So your question is, how do you submit payment for a bid like that?
Well, let's check the instructions that are provided to me on this form. So this one, it shows that I do need to submit this notice of intent to bid directly to this company. I can also call them and ask them questions and they'll mention it. But how I do that is by, step 2, before the 45th day. And keep in mind, if I do it on the 40th day, 30th day, there's actually no advantage to it. On the 45th day at 5 p.m., it's done and over with. The only exception is if you're the only one that submits a notice of intent, which is exceptionally rare. Usually there's a bunch of notices of intent submitted because there are people that submit notices of intent on everything. And I submit notices of intent on a lot of things, even when I don't have the capital immediately available, because a lot changes in 45 days.
Sure.
So submit a lot of notices of intent. And that doesn't mean that, again, a lot of people are going to be bidding. Usually very few people do. But I submit the funds directly to the foreclosure trustee, traditionally mailing them in the form of certified funds, making sure they have it before 5 p.m. on the 45th day. And I call the next day to find out if I'm the high bidder. If I am, I'm throwing a party. And if not, they send the funds immediately back to me, and usually takes a day or two at most for that to take place.
So Bill followed up with his question with, on LinkedIn. Does a nonprofit need to stay in for any certain amount of time, or how fast can you resell that property?
You can resell it immediately.
That's crazy.
There's no
Because
restriction.
the nonprofit.
Well, this is why I do this. So again, I'm a big fan of notes. Notes are great. I'm not talking shit on notes. There's a lot of opportunity with notes.
Yeah.
But as a note holder, one has to worry about getting sued by the homeowner by buying bad paper, such as that it hasn't been collected upon for years. It's delinquent for years, and have to worry about laches and getting sued for that. I can worry about defects within the paper. I can have to worry about just this dragging out for years on end, as it can take years to foreclose in some places. I'm skipping to the end.
Yeah.
I could worry about having to be licensed, or just laws changing, quite honestly. None of that applies to me anymore when I do this. I have become lazy in some ways, and I just have to skip to the end. And all I need to do is pick the winning racehorse, because I also know people that are friends, and I quite honestly bid on some of their properties because they were very happy when it went to sale. And I have the ability to buy it again for the price for which it went to sale.
Yeah.
And
so Nick followed up his question before. He asked about how do you submit payment? He was looking about the minimum and maximum bid situation, I guess.
your bid takes place in the form of certified funds. So your money does the talking, but I personally submit written instructions with it. And I usually give them two checks, one in the opening amount and the other to cover the difference. So in the one I showed you, that was my bid in the amount of $50,000. I submitted a $50,000 certified check, and my high bid was 102. So I had an additional check of 52,000.
So if it comes to.
So like this property that I'm looking at right here that went to sale for 62,000, I of course can submit a bid for $62,862 and have a high bid of, I don't know, whatever it is, 125. And let's see, because somebody's going, oh, it's definitely a second lien. It's actually probably not. And everything's automated.
That maximum, I presume they just give you the difference back, or how does that work?
Correct. Oh, look, it's the first mortgage. It's the only mortgage on there. Now, keep in mind, I don't know why this guy lost his house, but I also don't care. I don't know how he bought this house. Actually bought it a long time ago and just refinanced a bunch of times. I'd want to double check and make sure these things are released, but a 1994 mortgage and a 1990 mortgage, come on, those things are going to be gone. Yeah. But I just triple check on it, but nonetheless, that's why we have these title reports. But anyway, this guy has his house for 2019 for 55,000. They refinanced it for whatever reason, that probably passed away, but yeah. I mean, this is amazing, and it really is worth, the price that we're looking at.